Okay, I think we as a group talked about this. If not, it still is relevant. But there was an incident at BYU in which there was a girl who was serving for the Duke basketball team, I'm sorry, for the volleyball team, that said someone was yelling racial slurs at her. Now, they banned this guy that supposedly was yelling them, said you can't come here. They brought some cops nearby. BYU as an institution was kind of embarrassed and disgraced. The basketball coach at South Carolina, the women's team, said, I'm not going to play BYU. Oh, wait a minute. Turns out that story, they may have gone a little too fast on that. And in fact, if we can bring this up, let's bring up even CNN now saying, you know what? There was widespread media failure on that racist heckling allegation. There was a rush to judgment. And Melanie, it turns out that they looked at all the video. Nobody said a racial slur. Now, the girl who was serving could have misheard somebody, and that could be a natural mistake. But what bothers me is how quickly people jumped on BYU and believe that this happened without the actual story, for them to be firm about the facts in the story.
Not only did they jump on this story, but they punished a person without any kind of due process and without an investigation. And that's what makes me angry. And as you know, a Black person, it makes me even more angry that, again, when real racism does rear its ugly head, people are not going to believe it, perhaps, or they're going to say, here we go again. And I submit to you that real racism is not as prevalent as the left would have you to believe, that most people in the United States could not care less about race. They want to feed their families, keep themselves safe, and live nice lives. They're not concerned about race. They're not yelling racial slurs at a public event. But we can't punish people without an investigation. And that's the worst part. And of course, the media just continuing to fail.
Yeah, not only that, but the people around them would have said, yeah, he was doing that because BYU. Is it mostly white? Yes, but that doesn't mean they're mostly racist. I mean, they would have pointed that out. I want to move on to another story forward because this does amuse me. The New Orleans mayor, Democrat LaToya Cantrell, refusing to reimburse taxpayers $30,000 for first class airline tickets she got, saying she upgraded from coach because you can't be sure that you would be safe as a Black woman when you're riding in coach.
Let's be honest, Democrats have no shame, and the mayor of New Orleans is a prime example. She's not riding in first class because of safety. She's riding in first class on the taxpayer's dime, and that is theft. And unfortunately, she will never be called out because she is a Black woman, and the media will move on. But this is the type of corruption that goes on. And you see this over and over. When Democrats make a misstep, they'll say they're doing it for their own safety. But there was no need whatsoever for her to fly to Washington, D.C. or Miami on first class unless she was going to pay for it, because I'm sure with her job, what's allotted is coach.
Yeah, which is fine. And then I want to get to this story. I hope we have this video because they took this down from Twitter, but Texas A&M, before the game on the weekend, and I'll explain more about that game, they had kind of a pep rally on Friday going into the weekend. Listen to what their player said about their upcoming opponents.
I was really confused because Appalachia is definitely not a state. But sure enough, I found them, and they're located deep, and I mean deep, in the backwoods. Just like you would think any hillbilly college that names themselves the Mountaineers.
Yes. Melanie, exactly. Your response was mine, which is why they took it down. Let me tell everyone that Texas A&M was ranked sixth in the country. Appalachia State beat them 17-14.
Good good. I hope they got a good throttling. That was ridiculously racist. What is happening? That is not okay. You cannot do that. Even if you have brown skin, you cannot do that. That was highly offensive, and I'm glad they got throttled. That was ridiculous.
It was instant karma. You know, that came out. Ford, we got to run, but give me a sentence or two.
Look, App State got the last laugh on that, but that's not the only one who got a last laugh from Appalachia. Marshall wound up beating Notre Dame, and that was the biggest upset
Oh, yeah.
of the weekend in college football.
That's right. As somebody who used to live in Huntington, West Virginia, I know how that town must be celebrating. So, Ford O'Connell, Melanie Collette, thank you so much for being with us.